I'm David Volk for Chin Music. Today's post, I love you, Dad. I'm just not wild about your name change. Our new name has meant years of grief. Last names are a funny thing. As the story goes, when people first started taking last names to differentiate themselves from other people with the same first name, they often chose surnames that described what they did. So, a person who made bread took the last name of baker. A person who raised crops opted for farmer. And in Poland, I assume a person named Goldschmuck was likely a goldsmith. Given that my father's original last name was Volkowitz, which is Polish for wolf, I'm not sure what his ancestors did. I'm guessing they didn't hunt for wolves, because then their name would have been Hunter. Did they raise wolves or dogs? Did they breed them? Did they sit on rocks and howl at the moon? I really don't know. At least I'm glad that our last name wasn't Lipschitz. No matter what the origin of our name was, at some point my dad decided to change it. Years later, I was told he shortened our name to Volk because he didn't want people making fun of his kids because of their funny name. While I appreciate the sentiment, I'm not quite sure his effort was all that successful. For starters, no one seems to know how to spell it. I'm really not sure why. I try not to ask too much from my readers, but I'm going to request that you stop reading for a moment and say my last name out loud. Volk. Simple, right? V-O-L-K, right? Over the years, I've had people spell it B-O-L-K, V-O-K-E, and even V-O-G-T, to name just a few. When I was growing up, I routinely heard my father telling people that's V as in Victor, O-L-K, when he was trying to tell them his last name over the phone. I decided to riff on his explanation first by saying, like Volkswagen. Later I took to saying, it's like Volkswagen without the swaggin', which made people laugh but got the point across, except for that one time when a woman on the other end of a phone conversation asked, so that's V-O-G-H-T? To which I responded, honey, where do you shop for cars? To make matters worse, I'm not sure that my dad even accomplished his goal. For starters, I guess he didn't realize that Volk sounds a lot like Volt, which prompted many people to say it was shocking to meet me. And then they were shocked when I didn't laugh. Yeah, like I never heard that one before. And who knows, maybe Volkswagens weren't a thing in the US when he made the change, but I grew up in the 70s when movies about Herbie the Love Bug were popular. So a lot of people called me David Volkswagen, which drove me nuts. But that was nowhere near as bad as when some dipshit up in Tampa opened a VW graveyard and called it the Old Volkshome. Gee, thanks, Dad. I still love you, even all these years after you've passed away. But there are limits. I guess I should be thankful he didn't call me soon. That's it. Show's over. Nothing left to see here. Everybody go on home. I've been David Volk, and this is Chin Music.